You are 15 years old. You steal your mother's phone to record your little brother doing something stupid in the backyard. You watch it back and you change the angle. You do the shot again. You don't know why. Something in your brain just said, "That looked wrong." You shoot it a third time. This time it looks right. You don't know what right means yet. You just know the difference between the two feelings. You find a free editing app and spend 4 hours cutting a 30-second video. Your brother watches it and laughs. That's enough. You do it again the next weekend, then the weekend after that. You start carrying the phone everywhere. You film the parking lot after school because the light does something strange at 4 in the afternoon that you can't explain but can't stop looking at. You film your grandmother's hands while she cooks. You film the highway from a car window going 70 miles an hour. None of it is good. All of it is practice. You don't know you're practicing. You think you're just messing around. You find movies on streaming platforms that feel different from the other movies. You don't have the words for why yet. You just feel it. You watch them twice, 3 times. You start watching with the subtitles on so you can read the dialogue while you're watching the faces. Then you find out that some of those movies have director commentaries. You listen to a director talk for 2 hours about why he pointed a camera in a specific direction. This breaks something open inside of you. You didn't know you were allowed to think about it that way. You didn't know there was a person behind every decision. You ask your parents for a camera for your birthday. Your father asks what you're going to do with it. You don't have a good answer. He gets you the camera anyway. It's a basic DSLR. It cost him $400. You will use it until the shutter breaks. You are 18. You've made 11 short films. None of them are good. 2 of them are interesting. You know the difference now. You upload them to a YouTube channel nobody watches. You get 11 subscribers. 9 of them are people you know in real life. 1 of them is a bot. 1 of them is a stranger in another country who commented 2 words. Keep going. You have read that comment 40 times. You apply to film school. Not the famous one of the mid-tier ones that costs more than your parents are comfortable spending. You get in. Your mother cries. Your father sits quietly for a long time and then says he's proud of you. That silence before the proud takes up more space in your memory than the proud itself. Film school is not what you expected. Half of what they teach you feels obvious. The other half breaks everything you thought you knew. A professor watches your first student film and tells you in front of the whole class that you are thinking about the story after the camera instead of through it. You don't fully understand what that means. It takes you 2 years to understand what that means. When you finally do, you go back and watch your old work, and you can see exactly what she was talking about. You don't make that mistake again. You meet people who want it the way you want it. Not everyone, maybe a third of your class. The rest are talented, but something is missing. Some desperate need to actually do the thing rather than just talk about the thing. You can feel the difference in a conversation within 5 minutes. The ones who have it are working on weekends. The ones who don't are talking about what they're going to make someday. You make a short film every semester, whether it's assigned or not. You sleep 4 hours some nights. You eat badly. You are the happiest you have ever been. You graduate with a short film that gets into 2 small festivals. Not the famous festivals, regional ones in cities you've never visited. You drive to both of them in a car that barely makes it. You sit in a room with 40 strangers and watch your film projected on a real screen for the first time. Something happens in your chest that you don't have a word for. It isn't pride, exactly. It's more like recognition. Like the film became real in a way it wasn't before. Neither festival leads to anything concrete. You drive home. You start the next one. You are living in Los Angeles now, in a 2-bedroom apartment with 3 other people. You sleep in the living room behind a curtain. You work as a production assistant on commercial shoots and small TV projects. The work is not glamorous. You carry equipment. You get coffee. You move things from one place to another. You learn every department by watching: grip, electric, camera, sound, art department. You learn the language. You learn the rhythms. You learn who the real decision makers are on a set, and it is almost never the most important sounding title. You are not directing anything. You are learning what directing costs. You are watching directors work in real conditions, with real money and real pressure, and real people whose time and livelihoods are on the line with every hour that doesn't get used properly. Some directors are calm under that pressure. Some are not. You study both. You decide what kind of director you want to be while you're still nobody. You make a short film on weekends with friends. You shoot it over 6 weekends with a budget of $800 and favors you will spend the next year paying back. The film gets into a real festival. Not Sundance, not Tribeca, but a real one with real programmers who watched 10,000 submissions and chose yours. It screens twice. An agent who handles writers attends one screening. She does not offer to represent you. She gives you her card and tells you to keep in touch. You send her a follow-up email. She responds in 6 weeks with 2 sentences. You respond the same day. You will continue this slow correspondence for 2 years before it becomes anything. You enter a screenwriting competition with a feature script you've been developing for 14 months. You make the quarterfinals. That means 260 people made it further than you. It also means 3,000 people didn't make it as far as you. You are not sure how to feel about quarterfinals. You decide to feel okay about it and write the next script faster. You direct a music video for a band that has 40,000 Instagram followers. They pay you $500. You spend $400 of it on equipment you don't have and locations you need. You net $100 and a video that looks like it cost 10 times what it cost. The band's manager shares it. A record label sees it. The label asks if you're available to direct something for one of their artists. You say yes before they finish the sentence. You are 25. Things are moving. Not fast. Not the way people imagine when they imagine things moving. Slowly, unevenly. Music videos, branded content, a short documentary that a production company hired you to direct. You are not rich. You are not broke. You are in the difficult middle zone where the work is real, but the income is inconsistent, and every month is a calculation. You finish a short film that is the best thing you have ever made. You know it before the edit is done. Something came together in this one that you have been chasing for years. The cinematographer you worked with understood your instincts without you having to explain them. The lead actor gave you something in one take that you had not written but could not have written. The film got into it through a door you left open. You didn't plan that door. You just built a room good enough to have one. The film gets into Sundance. You find out at 7 in the morning by email. You sit on the floor of your bathroom for a while. You call your mother. You call the cinematographer. You call nobody else because there is nobody else you need to call right now. The festival changes things in ways that are real and ways that are overstated. The real ways: you meet people who have the power to greenlight things, and they now have a face to put to your name. The overstated ways: nothing is offered, nothing is guaranteed. The film's success is not a job, it is an introduction. You already knew this intellectually. Now you know it in your body. An introduction is still more than you had in September. 3 production companies express interest in working with you on a feature. 2 of them are serious. 1 of them is very serious. You take meetings. You sit in offices that look like they were decorated to make you feel slightly off balance. The people across the table are friendly and smart, and they are also evaluating you the entire time. You evaluate them back. You are looking for the same thing they are. Can we trust each other with something that doesn't exist yet? You are 27. You are directing your first feature film. The budget is $2.3 million, which is a number that sounds large until you try to make a movie with it. It is not large. It is a tightrope stretched over the entire production. You have 32 shooting days to get everything you need. You will use every one of them. You will not have enough of them. The first day on set, you feel the weight of everyone looking at you. Not at the monitors, not at the actors, at you. The first AD, the DP, the producer standing slightly off to the side. They are all waiting for you to be the director. You take a breath. You know this story. You have lived inside this story for 2 years. You walk onto the set and you start making decisions, and you don't stop making decisions for 32 days. There are days that feel like flying. The camera finds something nobody planned for, and the actor does something nobody could have planned for, and the two things meet in the middle of the frame, and you know it in your chest immediately. Those moments are why you do this. Those moments feel like a door opening into a room you didn't know existed. There are days that feel like drowning. Weather kills your outdoor schedule on day 11. An actor is sick on day 19. The location you planned for the final sequence falls through on day 24, with 6 days left to shoot. You stand in a parking lot at 11 at night on the phone with your location manager, and you make a decision, and you move forward, and you do not let anyone see how scared you are. This is also the job. The film gets finished. Post-production takes 8 months. 8 months of watching the same scenes until they stop meaning anything, then meaning something again, then meaning the right thing. Your editor becomes the most important person in your life for those months. She shows you cuts that reveal things about the film you didn't know were there. You argue. You agree. You argue again. The film gets better every time you argue and resolve it correctly. You are 29. The film is in theaters. Not everywhere. 12 cities. Limited release. The reviews are good. Not universally good. Good. A few critics write about you specifically, about the direction, about what they call a distinct voice. You read these reviews more times than you will admit to anyone. The bad reviews you also read. One of them is accurate. It identifies a structural problem in the second act that you knew was a problem and could not find a way to fix in time. Reading someone name it in public feels specific and strange, like being seen doing something private. The film doesn't make its money back in theaters. Most films don't. It sells to a streaming platform for a number that covers the investors and leaves a small profit. You get paid what your contract said you would get paid. It is not a life-changing amount. It is a proof of concept amount. Proof that you can bring something in on schedule, on budget, and have it exist in the world as the thing you said it would be. That proof is worth more than the paycheck right now. Studios start reaching out. Not all of them. 2 of them. One wants you to direct a sequel to something that already exists. The IP is strong. The budget is significant. The creative control is limited. The other wants to develop something original with you from scratch. The budget is smaller. The timeline is longer. The ownership over the vision is real. You take the development deal. Your agent thinks you are making a mistake. Your agent might be right. You decide the mistake is worth making. You are 32. Your second feature came out and it did something your first one didn't. It connected. Not just with critics, with people. A scene in the third act, a quiet scene, almost nothing happening, 2 people sitting in a car not saying the thing they need to say, gets talked about online. Not viral, not trending, just people sending it to each other privately. People saying, "This is exactly what it felt like." Your inbox fills with messages from strangers describing their own version of that car. That scene cost $4,000 to shoot. You wrote it in 20 minutes on a Tuesday. You have spent 2 years crafting scenes that cost 10 times that and meant 1/10 as much. You accept this as one of the permanent mysteries of the work. You learn which notes to take and which to redirect and which to lose in the revision quietly enough that nobody notices. You hire a larger team. A producing partner, an assistant, a development executive who reads the scripts that come across your desk so you don't have to read all of them. You are running something now. You win an award. Not the biggest award, a significant one. You stand at a podium and say thank you to a room full of people, and you mean it, and you also feel slightly outside your body the entire time. You watch the clip of yourself accepting it later. The person accepting it looks confident. That is not what it felt like from the inside. The award changes the level of the rooms you are invited into. That is what awards actually do. They are keys to different rooms. You use the key. You take the meeting with the director whose films made you want to do this in the first place. He is smaller in person than you expected and warmer than you expected. He tells you something about the industry that you already knew but needed to hear from him. You don't forget it. You are 41. You have made 7 films. 2 of them you are proud of without qualification. 3 of them you are proud of with reservations. 2 of them you have made a kind of peace with, which is different from pride. All of them are in the world. All of them will outlast the conversation you are having right now about whether they were good enough. Young directors cite you in interviews. You watch them in press junkets talking about your work the way you used to talk about the work of the people who came before you. It is a strange mirror. You see yourself reflected in their excitement the way you used to be excited. You want to tell them something true that will actually help them. You can't find the sentence that does that. The only thing that would actually help them is to make 10 films, and there's no shortcut to that. You are executive producing other people's work now, supporting directors who are where you were at 27. You remember what you needed at 27. You try to provide it. Sometimes what they need is resources. Sometimes what they need is for someone to tell them that the instinct is right and the interference is wrong. Sometimes what they need is honest feedback that nobody else in the room is willing to give them. You try to figure out which one is needed before you open your mouth. You are not always right. You are right more often than most. Your personal life has had to absorb the weight of this career. A relationship ended during the production of your 4th film. The timing was not the cause, but the timing was the occasion. You have been more careful since then, more present when you are present. The work still takes most of what you have. You've accepted that as a permanent fact of who you are. Some people who love you have accepted it with you. Some could not. You understand both. You are 49. You are being asked to speak at things now. Film schools, industry conferences, master classes. You sit in front of rooms of people who are where you were, and you try to tell them the truth about what it costs, and what it builds, and why you would do it again, and what you would do differently. The truth is complicated, and most of what you say comes out simpler than the truth. That frustrates you. You try harder. The people in the room are grateful for whatever version they get. A retrospective of your work plays at a major cinematheque. They screen all 7 films over 2 weeks. You attend 3 of the screenings and watch them with audiences who weren't born when you made the earlier ones. You sit in the dark and watch 22-year-olds encounter the film you made when you were 28. And something happens in the room that you weren't expecting. The film still works. Not perfectly. You can see every seam and every compromise and every moment where you didn't have the experience yet to get what you were reaching for. But underneath all of that, the thing you were reaching for is still visible. Audiences can still feel it. That is the thing you couldn't have told yourself at 22. The intention survives. Not always, not automatically. But if the intention was real, it leaves a trace that doesn't fully go away with time. A streaming platform offers you a significant budget and complete creative freedom to make whatever you want. No IP, no franchise, no notes until the first cut. You have been waiting for this offer for 20 years. You say yes. You go home and open a blank document. You start writing. You are 58. You have made 14 films. The 14th is the one you will be remembered for. Not because it was the most successful or the most awarded, because something in it cracked open in a way none of the others did. You don't fully understand what you did differently. You made it after a period of real difficulty, a year where the world felt very thin and very loud at the same time, and something about working through that thinness gave the film a quality you cannot reverse engineer. You have tried to reverse engineer it. It cannot be done. The film travels to places you will never go. It plays in languages you don't speak. People have experiences watching it that you could not have predicted and could not have engineered. A woman in South Korea writes you a letter, a real letter, handwritten, translated by her daughter, describing what the film did to her. You read the letter 4 times. You keep it in your desk. This is why you make things. This has always been why. You are being asked to put your name on projects now in exchange for considerable money and very little actual involvement. You do some of this. You do less of it than you are offered. There is a version of this career where you become a brand rather than a director, and you have been careful for 20 years to keep that version from happening. It requires saying no to things that have a lot of zeros in them. You say no. Your accountant understands, but doesn't love it. You sleep fine. You mentor a young director whose first film reminded you of something you made at 23, but better. You give her what nobody gave you at that age: an honest assessment, a useful introduction, and the specific information about contracts that you wish someone had given you before you signed your first real deal. She makes her second film. It gets into Sundance. You find out by text on a Tuesday morning. You feel something that takes you a moment to identify. It turns out to be pride. The cleanest, least complicated pride you have felt in years. You text back 2 words. You tell her to keep going. You are gone. At some point, you are gone. The films remain. The 14 of them exist on servers in data centers in countries you visited and countries you never got to. People watch them in the dark the way you watched films in the dark when you were 15 and something broke open inside of you. They feel what you felt. Not the same thing, their own version of it. The thing underneath the thing that language can't carry, but that a well-chosen image and a held silence and a piece of music arriving at exactly the right moment can carry. You spent 40 years learning how to carry it. Film schools teach your work now. A professor pauses a frame of your 3rd film and talks about why you made a choice that you honestly don't fully remember making. She has a better explanation for it than you did. You would have agreed with her. The students take notes. A few of them feel something shift. A 16-year-old watching your earliest short film on a platform you never used will feel the same thing you felt watching the films that made you. She doesn't know your name yet. She is about to look you up. She is about to fall down the rabbit hole of watching everything you made in order. She is going to spend the next 3 years trying to figure out how you did it. She will eventually figure out that the how is inseparable from the why, and the why is inseparable from the years, and the years cannot be skipped. She picks up her phone. She points it at something. She watches the shot back. She changes the angle. She does it again. The cycle continues.